to run that bass low.
Hey, what's going on, guys? VT here, and welcome to episode 8 of the Vanillin Vamonos Vocal Podcast. We're going a little bit white, a little bit Mexican, a little bit racist here, and I'm joined by my, not so racist, no irony, no sarcasm, implied buddy. Why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is GhostofSparta. You probably heard me on VT's videos way back in the Monster Hunter days.
Yeah, man, we go a long way back. He was like my first hunting buddy in Monster Hunter, pretty much. And then we've been sex buddies ever since.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much bringing you the news, some rumors this week, some good stuff, some store updates, and we're going to get right into it. First off, reward for listening really early and not skipping ahead. Target this week apparently is having a buy two, get one free on all games. That's from March 18th to March 22nd this coming week. So if you listen to the podcast early, get the jump on it, go get some games. As far as I know, it's pretty much all the games they have there. So you can get some pretty damn good deals there, which is kind of odd that Target's actually have one of those. You never think of Target as a place you go to buy games, or like Walmart. It's usually GameStop or, online or something, Amazon. But it's good. More deals for us equals more gameplay equals better, happier gamers. So keep an eye out for that. Also in this week, which is, I think it's hilarious, and we'll touch on this a little more in just a second, but the WiiU apparently has not been doing well. Surprise. We talked about that. I believe I talked about it with Glacier from Gamers at Stream. Shout out to him if he's listening. Awesome guy. And we talked about how the Wii U was sort of a shaky console from the start and how it might improve later, but so far it's not there yet. It only sold about 60,000 consoles this past week. And to put it in a frame of reference, the Xbox 360 sold 300,000 this week. So, yeah.
That tells you anything.
Laughter is appropriate. And there's a few reasons for that. We've outlined it in the past that, the Wii U just doesn't have any major system sellers with it, and it's really more of a family game, and it's a little bit expensive. But something that might help, we're going to get some opinions on this, but Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate comes out in North America this week. Ghost, what do you think? Is that going to be a system seller? Is that going to help the Wii U?
I think, it honestly depends on advertisement. If you go back to Monster Hunter, let's say like Freedom 2 and all that what we used to play, you pretty much heard about that game through word of mouth. And unless it's basically advertised as like a dual package, I don't think so. But you never know.
Yeah,
like I said, you ask the average gamer, and chances are they've never even heard of Monster Hunter. So, but then again, maybe now it's more mainstream. So I don't know. I'm kind of out of touch on the Monster Hunter scene these days.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Like they really need to pick up their advertising. They did that a little bit with Monster Hunter Tri a while back for the Wii, and so it did get the name out there a little more. But as far as continuing the series, I don't think it really grabbed a lot of people. With the controlled, hardcore, dedicated Monster Hunter gamers, yeah, definitely. It brought in that a little bit, and they're going to buy this game for sure. And probably pick up a Wii U with it, because this is probably the only game they're going to buy the Wii U for. But as far as the general public really increasing sales, personally, I don't think, without some major marketing, really getting the word out there that this is a game you need to pick up, that could, because as I said earlier, the Wii U is more of a family game, and really this game is not very family oriented. Monster Hunter is a very solo, skill-based game, and I think that will help with getting the hardcore gamers into it. But without the advertising, getting the word out there, I think you're right. It's not going to make much of a huge spike in sales. It's maybe going to make a little dent, little rise on a graph or something. But other than that, I'm not seeing much for it.
Well, they'll really have to do something in order to increase their sales, because you gotta think like games like Monster Hunter, is it Monster Hunter 3U? It's not attracting a lot of the veterans like you and I, because that to us is not a Monster Hunter game. With Capcom really getting in bed with Nintendo, they've kind of alienated their original fans, which were the Sony fans. That's
Right.
where the game started, and now it's kind of like, so you're kind of losing a lot of that crowd. So you really got to do something to make a new crowd.
Right, right. And with it being on a new console, that's hard to really jump up onto. But they do have a little help because 3U is also coming out on 3DS, which has been out for a little while. And if, of course, like you said, if they make a bundle with it, that's really going to help because you bundle the Monster Hunter 3U with the Wii U. If you already have a 3DS, you're going to grab the game. Well, having the 3DS and the Wii U, you're going to be able to play online with it. So maybe you just want to buy the Wii U by itself because you already have plan on buying the game for the 3DS, make it portable. Portable Monster Hunter is always good. There's a lot of interconnectivity there, which, of course, is more incentive. But like I said earlier, I don't see it making a huge difference in sales, at least in the States. Maybe not even in Japan or anywhere else, too, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, you gotta look at the first Wii, too. The first Wii sold like hotcakes. But the first Wii was actually truly something innovative. That was something that hadn't been done before. And the Wii U, I'm sorry, it's really not that innovative in my opinion. Yeah, you got that little handheld controller, but really, I mean, how innovative is that? It's basically you got a PSP. I mean, Sony did that before, where you could hook up the Vita with the PS3. I mean, the only difference is you can't control the game with it on your TV. And to me, that's what turned me off to the Wii U in the first place was having to control with that little handheld console, and actually, like, if you want to go into a menu, you have to take your eyes off of the screen and looking at the screen in your hands, which to me takes you out of the game.
Yeah,
and that's what turned me off to it in the first place.
That's a big thing. Like, you really have to have the right game for that. Like, it's got to be a puzzle game, be able to take your time on or something. Because, like, if it's an action game, something like Monster Hunter, when you're trying to look down on your fucking lap, or to see what's going on, like that's going to cause you a lot of pain.
That's how motherfuckers get shanked.
No joke. Straight up thug life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like what you said that the Wii U really isn't that innovative because it's true. Like, I've been telling everyone, the Wii U is 6 years too late. Like, it's coming out right now when all the next gen, like truly next gen consoles are coming out later this year. I mean, for sure, it's guaranteed. And the Wii U is it's 6 years too late, and it's just not that innovative anymore.
Yeah,
it's too bad.
Their idea of next gen is current gen, and it's just like, man, we were done with that 6 years ago, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could look at their tie-in with social media, but to me, that's just completely unnecessary.
Oh, I completely agree. I'm not a huge fan of where consoles are going right now with the whole social media integration. Like, I want to have that nice Enigma in front of me protecting me of people stalking the shit out of me.
Exactly. Well, and especially in gaming today, how trolling is becoming more and more prevalent. Because you got people doing YouTube now, and you got YouTubers trolling people, and people are seeing that, and they're starting to troll people. And to me, connecting games to a social platform like that is like almost just sucking in the trolls. You know what I mean? Like, just
I get it.
you. I mean, you got the features where you can, like, draw on people's walls and stuff. Well, I mean, you're just asking for people to draw dick pictures. You know what I mean?
You're asking for a penis.
Exactly. You're asking for a penis on your wall. And to somebody that would actually truly offend, that's going to turn them off to the game, in my personal opinion.
No, I get it completely. But so I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. The Wii U, if you want to see it prevail, go grab Monster Hunter. That's the one game I endorse for it, sort of.
I won't even endorse that.
No? Oh, just so bitter. I know.
I'm bitter. I'm sorry, man.
I'm starting to get over it, but as soon as I see gameplay videos coming up, I'm gonna be like, "Ooh, son of a bitch." But let's move away from there. Speaking of other consoles, a few weeks ago I mentioned, maybe it was just last week, that the Vita got a price cut in Japan and soared in sales, quadrupled in sales, matter of fact, which was amazing. And apparently, Sony took notice of that, and this might have been planned in the works earlier. This is sort of a rumor, I want to get it out there now. The 3G model of the Vita is apparently going to be getting a price cut of $100 off, bringing it down to $200, which is just an amazing deal. The reason this might be happening, though, is partially probably due to Japan with an increase in sales. They're seeing that, that would be a good idea for North America. Also, and this is the rumor part that I'm really speculative of, is they're trying to discontinue the 3G model, is what apparently is going on here, allegedly. And I can see that. Like, the 3G for the Vita really doesn't do anything.
Right.
Like, I use my Vita, like, at least every other day. And I've never had 3G. I don't need it. Most people where they're going to be using it, they don't need the 3G features. So putting the price count on it, just get it out there and get out of the way, that seems like a good business decision to me. If you can get rid of your product that no one wants to buy at a cheaper price, that'll at least get you something.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, yeah, when the Vita was announced, they had the Wi-Fi and the 3G, and I always just kind of looked at it like, I could see if you wanted to use 3G for like the social platforms, Twitter and Facebook and all that, Skype and all that, but as far as gaming, unless you have a really solid connection, if you hit a shoddy area, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, no, and I know what you mean by the social platforms, but the sad thing is that people's phones can do it 10 times better and faster than
and I'll
the
probably
Vita.
already have one, so why would they buy a separate
Right.
device to do what they can already do? That's why when I was thinking about buying a Vita, I was just going to go for the Wi-Fi because I would never use it for I would never use 3G. I really wouldn't. It would be a waste of money.
Yeah, and even I'm like part of the like 2% that doesn't have a smartphone right now, and I don't even use that, like the 3G part for it. I'm not that attached to the social stuff anyway, but still, like, that sort of is a waste. It really is. However, that might come in use in a few months because I'm speculating right now that with the PS4 Vita interconnectivity, which apparently is going to be quite a bit of with the whole remote play and all that, and being able to buy things away from your console, I think the Vita is going to play a major role in some of the features of the PS4. And I think having that 3G might be a nice choice. Being able to go onto the store when you're on the way home or something, on the train, there's
That's
no
a
Wi-Fi.
good call.
Being able to download things on the way there. Right? Like,
that's a good call.
at the time when you want, you're going to grab one now, aren't you? No. At the time when you really want to, use that 3G, you may not use it a lot, but maybe once a week when the store updates, or if you want to check on your buddy's game or something, yeah, like, you might actually use that. So now might be the time to buy it. I just checked this morning. I haven't seen the price drop. So again, just look out for it. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen because I've seen it floating around. But nonetheless, if the 3G model is just getting discontinued, you may want to hop on it soon, guys. I mean, it might not be a bad idea with the PS4 coming out. So look out for that. Good deal for sure. $100 off. Boom. Wow. Awesome. Now, this is something we were actually talking about earlier before I even brought it up. Apparently, microtransactions are headed to Black Ops 2 on 360 and soon eventually coming to the other consoles, PS3 and PC. This is going to have apparently no effect on gameplay, which is good, and it's just going to allow for further customization. So, like, some examples are 160 Microsoft points for more slots, slots being customization opportunities, different reticles, camo. 80 Microsoft points might get you a new calling card customization, stuff like that. Now, what's your thoughts on this, Ghost? Like, you seem pretty passionate about this earlier,
Well,
microtransactions in general.
it's not even microtransactions in Black Ops. I had the game on PC, and it's an alright game, but it's microtransactions in general. I don't have a problem with microtransactions in free-to-play games. Because, for instance, I play a game on PC called Blacklight Retribution, for those of you that don't know what that is. It's a free-to-play first-person shooter. It is a sequel of Blacklight Tango Down that was on consoles.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 100% free-to-play game. It has microtransactions because they have to make money somehow. And I don't have a problem with that. I actually spent $10. I bought points or whatever for $10 and bought some tags and stuff for customizations because I did not pay a single dime for that game.
Look at you.
So for
Supporting
that,
the developers and shit.
Exactly. And it's a great game. I absolutely love the game. So I had absolutely no idea or no problems spending that little bit of money compared to the $60 that I would have spent for any other brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
But with a game like Black Ops 2, I already bought the game. So I am not going to spend any more money on it aside from map packs, and I'm not even going to buy the map packs because I'm not that invested in the game. Even if I was that invested, it's stuff like weapon camos. Why would you pay for weapon camos? You don't need weapon camos. You're not paying attention to your gun. You're paying attention to what's going on in front of you, hopefully. That's the point of the game. That's the point of the game. I can understand, people that they like the gold and diamond in their weapons and all that, and whatever, but like, why would you pay for that?
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have. And kind of not really off topic, but another example of microtransactions was Battlefield 3 coming out with those where you can unlock all the weapons in every class. To me, that takes the point of the game right out.
Yeah,
Because
that's a big step forward with
yeah,
the
that is
unlocking that
that
shit.
exactly, and it gives people like a really kind of an unfair advantage. If you're a brand new player, you have every freaking game gun unlocked in the game. If there's another new player, then they don't have a chance against these other new players that bought their weapons because they have more overpowered weapons.
Yeah, and that gets in the whole category of pay to win. And that's a
Exactly.
sticky situation. And yeah,
Exactly.
some people make the argument that, well, if you have the money you're willing to spend on it, you should be rewarded. I'm like, well, I guess so, but at that point, you're just discriminating against poor people
Yes.
or
And
little kids.
and to me, I'm gonna kind of call out Activision here. Activision is not broke. Okay, you cannot tell me with the money that they pull in on Call of Duty alone within the first week alone, with pre-orders alone, that they are hurting for money. So to me, it is also a money whoring
Yeah, so you're
technique.
looking at it more of a moral standpoint
Yes.
too. Like,
To me, it's like, where's your dignity, man? You don't need microtransactions. DLC, I can understand because that helps. Whatever. I don't know how they pay their bills, but DLC, map packs, and stuff like that. It not only adds more replayability to the game, but it also helps keep their servers running. It helps, and I have no problem with that. But microtransactions, dude, that, like, to me, that's just I don't like it.
sort of exploiting the consumer is what you're getting at, right?
Yes, exactly, and it's almost borderline the future of gaming. Like, I really think we're going to start seeing that more and more. It's going to become more and more prevalent. Dead Space 3 also came with microtransactions.
I mean, yeah, you saw that last week if you listen to my podcast, which you didn't, but that's okay. I forgive you. EA is going to try and bring microtransactions to every single one of their games that they put out in the future. Every single one of them.
And that, to me, is going to hurt them because people are going to start seeing that, and they're going to be like, wow, dude. Wow, really, like, I spent $60 on your game, and it's not good enough for you? You need more. It's all about more, 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 more. And to me, like, I don't know, man. That's the one thing that's going to turn me off to gaming is complete just money whoring.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I get that. But, I look at it from the other standpoint, too, because I feel like I'm pretty good with my money, and I don't really get into games enough to really buy all these things in there. But if someone wants to, like, if someone's really into one game, like, for instance, Killzone 2, I was really into that game. If they had microtransactions in there, yeah, I probably would have bought something, I mean, essentially, to me, microtransactions are just another form of DLC. And, yes, there's some gray area in there where this is ridiculous and, you're paying to win now for, like, these, when you get to stuff like stat boosts for, like, an hour, like, a double XP, fine. But if you're going to, like, a damage increase for, like, 10 minutes or something like that for paying money, like, that's ridiculous. And I've seen that in some shooters, too. Yeah. And it's really prevalent in MMOs, too. And that's a whole different category. That's totally different in some aspects. But in some, it really isn't. And you can see, like, right now, with this whole Black Ops 2 things, luckily they're saying it's not going to affect gameplay, but still, we're starting to get that blend with the MMO thing, and especially new consoles going more towards PC, getting a blend of PC and consoles, getting all of the things that go along with it being blended together as well. And does it scare me? A little bit, but nonetheless, I'm still excited to see what happens for it. Cautionary, but excited. And with people that are really dedicated to this one game that maybe they don't buy any other games to, giving them a little more reason to play, I think it's a great thing, just so long as they keep it fair. And that's just for me, like you said, you're not going to be spending money on that. That's cool. It's not for everyone, but as long as they keep it fair, as long as it doesn't affect gameplay, I'm happy for it. That's fine. Yes, it's a little immoral, whatever. They're money whores. If I was in their position, I'd probably want more money too, but I'd also be a douche. So let's talk a little bit about, unless you had any more final comments on that.
Nah, I think I pretty much said my piece on that one.
Cool. So let's spend, that's a nice transition into DLC, actually. Like, there's a lot of DLC coming out that came out this week and coming out next week. Big news for Halo 4. They're getting 3 new maps, the Castle map pack arriving April 8th for 800 Microsoft points. 3 new maps, tons of platforming layers. I looked at the trailer for it. It looks pretty legit. 800 Microsoft points is not bad. Grab it. Like, it's going to be sweet for sure if you have Halo 4, and that game is a lot of fun. Again, that's April 8th. Dishonored has finally officially announced their new DLC, which has been kind of being rumored and in the works for, since the game came out, but been in the news for the past few weeks. It comes out April 16th for $10 or 800 Microsoft points. And like I said, you heard it here, you get to play as Dowd, and you get a whole perspective of the gameplay. So I'm not sure if that means, or of the story, excuse me. I'm not sure if that means you play from start to end, like it's a whole new full-length story, or if you just get a few extra side missions that together make a new story. Either way, I think it's sweet. You get all of Dowd's new powers and abilities, like calling up assassins. You get to see things from his point of view, because I don't know about you, Ghost, but when I was playing it, like, Dowd is a badass, and he seemed like he kind of did what he wanted anyway. So there's something else going on underneath there. They can make a really cool intertwining story.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm far enough in the game to know who that is.
That's sad. We're going to pause, and you're going to play that game. We're going to come back and finish this shit. No, I love Dishonored. It was fun. It's the first-person Assassin's Creed. Like, it's.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. I just have so many other games that I'm playing too.
Yeah, you bought a PC and you just went hog wild on it.
Yeah.
It was great. Another little tidbit from this DLC. Apparently, you're looking for someone called Delilah, or something called Delilah. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the story. I don't remember that name coming up ever. Maybe it's a love of his. I don't know. But nonetheless, that'll be interesting. And there's still more DLC for Dishonored coming out after this. There's supposed to be 3 DLC packs minimum. And we have one already coming out that came out a while ago called the Dunwall City Trials, or Trials of Dunwall City, which is a bunch of little mini side things, which is cool. Didn't really add a lot of replay for me. The story, I think, definitely will. And there's going to be another one that comes out later, too, which deals with more magical shit. So keep an eye out for that. Also, the Dead Space 3 had some DLC come out this past week, which apparently got some mostly positive reviews for it. It added a nice little chunk, and I don't want to be too much of a spoiler alert, but I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit. It's titled Awakened, and it takes place immediately after Dead Space 3, the end of Dead Space 3. So it sort of explains some things. And I believe, Ghost, you had something to say about this.
It's really nothing I haven't said already. It's going back to the whole moral thing. I was not really against this DLC, but I mean the day that Dead Space was released was the day that they announced this DLC. And so to me, like, I don't like day one DLC. Not that this was day one DLC, but to me that kind of was, because it was announced the day that the game came out, which means that they already had it done.
Right.
So why didn't they at least include it with the game as like a pre-order bonus? Why does it have to be a whole separate thing that you have to buy? And that was kind of what I had to say about that. That's pretty much it. That kind of shit just really irritates me.
No, I get it. A lot of people actually have that opinion too. Mm-hmm. Especially with the whole controversial on-disc DLC stuff. Like, that usually gets people too.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, like, I think it's really cool, and I don't play the Dead Space 3 games. I don't really know. Didn't get into the series because I don't do scary shit. But apparently, if it takes place right after the end of a game and explains something that happened during the game, why wasn't it part of the story to begin with?
It should have been in the base game.
Apparently, this DLC clears things up, and that to me makes it feel necessary. Like, necessary to the game to understand what is going on. So if you don't get this DLC, like, you're just confused, which might be what they're going for anyway, because apparently the end is pretty epic. But still, I don't know. If you haven't got it yet, you probably should.
That's just, that's another thing. I never actually knew that, but that's something, like, in order to understand the end of the game, you have to buy this DLC, and that to me is just a crock of shit.
Yeah, it's just something else. I mean, that bothers me a little bit, but maybe it's part of their plan. Like, from what I understood, the end of Dead Space 3 was pretty epic, and maybe it was meant to confuse people. But like you said, like, they had this announced from day one, and that's just a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But so Metal Gear Rising also is going to get some DLC, especially for the PS3. It gets exclusive DLC, which is free until April 3rd. It's packed with playable missions, 30 new virtual reality missions, which use all your skills, everything that you have for Raiden, which is sweet, and it's free until April 3rd, so you have plenty of time to download it. You have like 3 weeks almost I do math, 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere in there. And on top of that, it gets more DLC in April, shortly after this one stops being free, for PS3 and 360. No guaranteed price for 360, but it is $7 on PS3. It's going to have side missions featuring Sam and Blade Wolf. So you get to play each character's unique abilities. There's, special characteristics about each of them. I love different aspects like that. Going back to the Dowd thing, yes, I think it's sweet. So being able to get the experience of other characters during the game, I think really brings people back to the game, and I think it's really awesome, especially for $7. Like, that's not that bad, in my mind, for DLC like that. And I didn't get Metal Gear Rising. I've never gotten into this series too, but nonetheless, I think that's gonna be sweet, especially with the free 30 new virtual reality missions, which is essentially a bunch of challenges. So that's really cool. So look out for that if you guys are big Metal Gear fans. That almost wraps up for DLC. We'll come back to another game there, but right before that, and neither of us right now are into this game, but Saints Row 4 just got announced. Has an official release date of August 20th in North America and the 23rd in Europe. And if you don't know what Saints Row is, basically it is a Grand Theft Auto with a crack-induced high feel. What?
I was gonna say, in a big floppy purple dildo.
That is the first image that pops in my mind when I think of Saints Row. You get a big fucking dildo. It's just a shit ton of customization, big old sandbox world of missions and shit, and you can just you blow shit up, you have fun. Like, it looks like a blast. It really does, but I've never gotten into it.
I have Saints Row 3 because of the THQ Humble Bundle. I have it on PC. I just haven't gotten into it yet. I've heard a lot of great things about it.
Yeah, it's just a fun game, apparently, and you just get to pretty much do whatever the fuck you want, like wave around giant big purple dildos. So if you're really excited for that, August 20th, mark your calendars, because that's when it's coming out. It'll be $60. Now, here's the big event this week that has gotten the most hype and probably overhyped. God of War Ascension came out. Woo! And that's been fun. Real quick, some DLC got outlined for it. We all knew there was DLC coming out for it, which is really good. Keep promoting the game and stuff. New stages, new armor and weapons, and apparently there's just going to be a shit ton of this stuff. They probably already have it all done, so that might frustrate you guys. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see new stages because there aren't that many in the game right now.
That's okay. I bought the collector's edition, which comes with the future DLC pass. So
that's true, and I did not, but my buddy also did, and I'll be downloading it from his account because I'm a cheater. But for those of you who did pre-order the game and you're a little confused, it came with a Last of Us demo, and that game comes out June 14th, I believe it is. And if you've been trying to activate the code, it doesn't work. Well, that's because you're stupid. They're not going to release a demo fucking 4 months before the game actually comes out. So, when you want to play it, it'll be active on May 31st. That's when the code goes live. That's when you can download the demo on the store. Just wait till then. It'll be fine. Builds up hype at the end, which is really awesome, because that game, The Last of Us, looks really awesome. It really does.
Got a lot of hype around it right now.
It does. Well, I mean, it's being made by Naughty Dog, who does the Uncharted series, and they have a great storyline. And the game looks amazing, too. So, it's got multiplayer. I'm looking forward to trying the demo for that, to really get a feel for it. I'm probably going to buy it anyway, but nonetheless, look out for that. But let's get some opinions on God of War Ascension, because this is the 6th game in the series. 7? Mm-hmm. What's the 7th? What the fuck are you talking about?
There's 4. Yeah, 6.
6. Yeah, there were the God of War 1, 2, and 3 on the consoles, and then
you know what?
the 2 for PSP.
They're including the mobile game. I bet you anything. There's a mobile game that they're including, because everywhere I read, they say it's a 7th installment.
Well, I call shenanigans.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's long in the series. And what are your thoughts on it, man?
My personal opinion, I mean, and this is not because my name is GhostofSparta. I'm a huge God of War fan. But I really, really enjoy the single player. I really do, because they take the formula that I enjoy about it so much, and they don't fuck with it. I've always operated on the philosophy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they really kind of do that with God of War, which I like, while adding new mechanics. there are new mechanics in this game that I absolutely fell in love with. I love the new grapple mechanic. Instead of having, the O pop up to do the mini games, you have a grapple mechanic. You can there's two stages. If you knock down an enemy with enough health, there'll be a white kind of, I don't know what you would call
It's
that.
a halo.
Yeah, kind of
Call
a
it a halo.
Yeah, they call it a halo. Halo, and you can either grab them and how do you like barrel bash through enemies and shit like that. You could slam them around, and then you have the final quick time event, which will rip them apart or rip their heads off or do whatever.
Something gruesome for sure.
Exactly. It's God of War. I love that mechanic, but I also love the new. There's some new quick time events that don't really require the on-screen buttons. You just you use the square or triangle for light or heavy attacks. You dodge when necessary, and it'll go into the brutal kill. And I really love that addition. And the story itself, I will admit, is a little weak compared to past games, but the gameplay itself, for me personally, more than makes up for it because it's just a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with a lot of the additions and stuff to the game. Personally, my feelings are almost the exact opposite. I'll tell you why, but also I'm going to get a review later, so if you really want more in-depth thing, check out my channel for that. But, I like that you mentioned the whole new QuickTime events, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, like the first half of the story, I could not get into it. And I still really can't get into it because it just felt like they took all the previous God of War games, put them in a blender, and said, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to see, I've seen all the things in God of War before, which, yes, it's fine. Sticking true to the game, great. But they really, really put a lot of those past elements in there. You've got just all sorts of different things. Like, I can't think of many right now because, of course, it's off the top of my head. But if there's a push puzzle, you got to jump on something to get somewhere. If you took any sort of God of War game, you would be able to see tons of elements in this one. And the story, and usually that's fine because it's masked by a good story. You're going somewhere. But to me, personally, and this is my personal opinion, the story has not grabbed me yet. I haven't even beat the end of the game yet because I haven't had time. Yeah, but I can't get into it. I can't convince myself to go back and play it because I know what's going to happen. It's a fucking prequel. I know what's going to go on. But also, there hasn't been enough drive in the story yet. The cutscenes haven't been shit to help to the story. They haven't done jack shit. And it's just you going through on a fucking murderous rampage. And they said they was going to explore Kratos' more human side. I have not seen that. I've seen maybe one time.
Yeah.
But, I thought it was going to be like, okay, he's going to help more people during this instead of using people to solve puzzles after he kills them.
Yeah.
And it's just, I have not felt that yet. I felt that the hype for it was undeserved. And it's just, it fell short. And, maybe by the time I beat the end of the game, I will have a better review for it. But as of right now, I'm really not excited for it. The new mechanisms that they changed, you said that you liked it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of having to wait forever, balls ever, to unlock magic, let alone half my combos are gone because of the new rage meter mechanics. And that is probably the most frustrating thing ever.
I actually highly agree with the rage meter mechanics. That is one thing that I really kind of felt like they dropped the ball on. I like the new magic, or not the magic, but the how you pledge allegiance to the different gods and you have different attacks for the different. I like that, but with the rage meter, I agree. I don't really like that, especially if you build up your rage meter. You get hit once, you lose your rage, and it was never about that before. But yeah, the simple attacks that have been prevalent in the God of War series since the beginning, the L1 and square, L1 and triangle, all of those, yeah, they're really not they're really not there. And if they are there, you have to unlock it.
And one of my favorite combos has been the triangle, 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 where you slam down and do that. And yes, you eventually unlock it with upgrading the Blades of Chaos in past God of War games. But now you unlock it, yeah, sure, but you have to have rage meter to do it.
Yep.
And that's true for a lot of combos, and that really frustrates me because that was one of my go-to combos. It was good, and thank God they kept the square, square, triangle because that's still decent.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like what they did with the square, square, triangle with each of the gods. They added a little something to it.
Yeah.
If you have Hades, if you're using the Hades power, then an arm comes out of the ground. And, if you're using the Zeus, then there's
Stuns
like
them.
it stuns them with this electricity that surrounds them. If you use fire, it incinerates them, and it's just. I really enjoy that. I think that's really cool. And like the
I
rage
agree.
meter,
Yeah.
when you use the rage, when you get to use the rages, they're cool. They're cool as all shit. I like them a lot. It's just the fact that like you have to work so hard to get to the rage meter and to
Right.
get to that point where you can use it, and you can use it once and you have to build it back up.
Well, and that's the thing. Like in the past, that's what the Rage Mirror has been. It's been you get there, you use it, and it's a super powerful like prolonged attack or
Exactly.
buff or a strong attack. And they have that in this game too. You can get it up there and you use it, and it's a really good attack. And it's helped me. It's saved me out of it a few times.
Exactly.
But the fact that they've paired it with keeping other combos, like when you have that rage mode, that's what bothers me. I wish the rage mode was just that final attack and they moved the combos to the other part. Then the battle would be fine. The
Yes.
mechanics, I think, I'd be really happy with them because you're right. I think they changed that with every God of War game too, with the elements and what the rage meter does.
Yeah.
With your magic powers at least. And I think it's really cool how they added those elemental god-like magic into the attacks. Like you never have just blades of chaos. They're always infused with the god's
Exactly.
power, which is sweet. I like that they did that. The producer,
Yeah.
mixed up, made it his own. That's cool. I just wish it could have been a little more refined, and especially with the part that bothers me is yes, they added that to your weapons, but they also added that to all the opponents too. So each enemy has like some, like the sirens that have the power of Zeus now. That pisses me off because now
Yep.
it's no longer okay. This siren has been true to the God of War series, like it does this, this, and this. Well, now it does all those things, but we gave it the power of a god.
Yeah.
Have fun. Oh,
The-
by the way, your weapons don't do anything, but if you grab a sword that you can hit someone with 3 times, that'll stun the shit out of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One thing that I wish they would have done though, and I thought that this would work, is like you have certain enemies that have certain elements. Like you got some of the hammer guys. Some of them use electricity. Some of them use fire. I kind of wish they would have threw in like if they're using fire, you use ice against them and it'll do more damage to them.
Yeah.
Kind of Monster Hunter-esque in a way where
hmm
you use the opposite element and it'll work to your advantage. But they did not implement anything like that whatsoever.
Yeah, and if anyone's been watching my playthrough, I do that just instinctively anyway.
Exactly. So do I.
Because partially it's fun just to mix it up because sometimes I forget to change the elements I'm using. But at the same time, like that would make a lot of sense because essentially those are opposites,
Yeah.
like Zeus and Hades, total opposites.
Yeah.
Ares and Poseidon, yeah, for sure.
My theory, if you don't mind me going into this for a second, is
Right.
when God of War 3 come out, Stig Asmussen, who was the producer of God of War 3, I don't know if he had anything to do with the God of War Ascension or not. He was very clear on the fact that God of War 3 was supposed to be the last game of the installment of
Right.
Kratos' story. And I really kind of think that maybe Sony pressured Santa Monica into making another one just because they sell so well. And it honestly, in some cases, feels like that they are kind of running out of ideas.
Oh, I get that feeling completely with this
You
whole
know,
prequel. Like there
yeah.
was,
They
whoa.
were really trying to scrape together a game that was even worth the fuck. And I think that's where a lot of the stuff fell short was just they were just trying to put together this game and they're just kind of like, well, what the hell do we do with it? What can we do that we haven't done already?
And that's where multiplayer comes in. And
Uh,
that's where I feel the story fell short because they were just wanting to get this game out for multiplayer because they had not explored that yet.
Actually, I'm honestly shocked with the length of this of the single player because of the multiplayer. I actually expected it to be a lot shorter.
Yeah, I mean I can see that. For
But
sure.
length doesn't, really
equal quality. Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. But let's talk about the multiplayer. We kind of tore about the story and the single player. It is what it is. And again, if you want to see my review on it, guys, come back in like a week or two, and I'll have a pretty damn decent review for you, a fair one at that too. But the multiplayer is something special. You tried it for the first time this morning. I've been playing it all week a little bit because I didn't want to do the single player. What are your first thoughts, man?
I will always stick by my original stance that God of War never needed multiplayer ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Preach it.
I held that stance all through God of War 3 when people were bitching because there wasn't multiplayer. When people were like, "Well, I beat the game, I'm returning it because there's no replay value because there's no multiplayer." I will stick by that. They did not need multiplayer, and it shows. when you actually play the multiplayer, it feels tacked on for the sake of multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
It is fun to an extent. It is fun in the sense that it's new, it's exciting at first because it's something that you've never played before in the God of War series, but it's going to grow stale very quickly. I give the multiplayer 3 months.
Yeah,
Before
that's a
it
pretty
grows.
long though. That is.
Well, I mean, there's people that are gonna play it. There's gonna be people that are gonna stomach it. They're gonna stomach it just because it's multiplayer, dude. That's the way people are now. They don't give a shit about games. For the games, they care about the multiplayer. And there's gonna be people that are gonna play it just because it's multiplayer. And I really feel like that's all it's gonna be because I'm already sick of it. And we played what, a half an hour?
Yeah, something like that. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I completely agree. God of War never needed multiplayer. It was never about the multiplayer. Do I feel that they've done a decent job with what they have? Yeah. They've taken the mechanics of God of War, turned it into a player versus player thing, which is really not what God of War is. God of War has always been, you are this badass Kratos. You're going to dominate enemies with your kick-ass weapons and your ability to handle those things. And so if you translate a badass player versus another badass player, like, you just get two normal players. And being able to still have that feeling like, yes, I'm dominating, is still there. However, that's also its downfall, because there are many times there when that game just does not feel fair. You're playing something and you're just getting locked. And, it's almost a luck-based game. Like, yes, there's skill, but you gotta be lucky to make sure that they're not gonna, you get the first hit with the lag that you're incorporating into it, of course. And just a few other things in there. I think that they've done a great job with the arenas, the different maps, and some of the, abilities of the gods. There's a lot of customization options there for how you really want to play it. I think the main focus, personally, multiplayer, is going to be the co-op. I think that's the most reasonable in this, and I think it's going to be the most long-lasting. That's pretty much the only thing I have to say on it, because I tried the co-op. It was fun, more fun than the multiplayer itself, but the multiplayer itself is still a lot of fun. I play it, and I get frustrated one match, but that just makes the next match that I kick ass on even better. And usually, you have a nice little neutral bar that you're going along on, a little line that you're traveling on, like, oh, I do okay, I do a little worse, this match. In this multiplayer that I've experienced, I get dominated or I dominate. And that just makes the ups even better. And that's why I'm addicted to it, because, like, oh, I want to dominate because I got my ass whooped last night. Like, I need to redeem myself.
Yeah, I can see, like, I kind of want to play it right now just because I wanna unlock.
Let's take a break, man.
I want to unlock more stuff in it because I want to feel what it feels like to dominate. Because I'm only like rank 5 right now, and you got to be rank 9 and start unlocking more weapons. And so I kind of want to feel what that feels. But, like, I find it really frustrating as a new player in this because, it's like you said already. If you've been playing the game for a while, you have all these overpowered weapons and stuff like that. If you're new, you don't stand a chance in hell.
And that's what I said at the start of the beta.
Yeah,
when
it was
the first day of the beta for this came out, I said that. I was like, as soon as you level up, people underneath you don't stand a fucking chance. They really don't. And that's true. It's absolutely true in this game. And that's disappointing. Yes, it's good for us to have committed the time to it, I guess, but that's not what multiplayer is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be fun for everyone,
Exactly.
And they just offer this whole, dominatrix thing, and it's too bad. So.
Yeah, dude. I really think that I'm willing to put more time into it because, like I said, I want to unlock more stuff, and I want to, because I want to become a little more OP to kind of feel what that feels like. But it's like, not a lot of people are going to have the patience that I have, and they're just going to say, fuck it, and they're going to turn away from it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I say that the multiplayer is going to be very short-lived.
Yeah, and everyone I've talked to said the same thing you did too. Like, I'm not playing this game for very long, or I want to just play the multiplayer enough to play the co-op, which is fair too, because the co-op is fun, and sadly you don't unlock as much XP on the co-op as you do in the main multiplayer mode, which I think is fallen short. I think they need to patch that, but we'll see. Maybe they will. They're pretty active about patching things already. There was a trophy that they patched already, which I think is fucking ridiculous, and I don't want to bring up because we're just going to get heated there, and that's a political thing. On the Bros Before Hoes being changed to Bros Before Foes.
Oh god
trophy.
damn.
Yeah, we won't touch on that, but that happened, and you guys can form your
That's
own
a whole
opinions
new
on that.
podcast. That's another hour podcast
Yeah,
right
that's about
there.
the whole gaming industry. But they also are planning a patch for there's a really difficult section in there. You just experienced that this morning too, trying to play it. I'm just there yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
the Trials of Archimedes or something like
Yep.
that. Or
Yep.
Achilles? I don't know.
Archimedes.
Archimedes. I've heard it both ways. And
Yeah.
apparently it's just so difficult. And that I'm going to factor that in my review too, find out what my personal thoughts on the whole difficulty level of this game is, and all that. But they're patching it to make it easier. And that's good because so many people have problems with it. And I've never heard of a game being patched, like a whole section being patched because it's so difficult. And I'm sure it's pretty unfair and pretty difficult with the way the game's been going. I can understand. So that just shows that they've been paying attention to it and that they're willing to change it to make it better. Hopefully they don't over change things. That's another concern though.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, was that all you're gonna say about that?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay.
But so I mean I pretty much said what I want to say about the first few days of God of War Ascension. Do you have anything else you want to add?
uh, all in all, my overall review, it's at least worth the rent. Um, I can understand that people were upset if they pre-ordered it like I did. However, I am not upset. I feel like I've got my money's worth because I actually enjoy the single player, the multiplayer, not so much. But only time will tell with that one.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see. Hopefully, I still haven't felt like I got my money's worth out of it yet, but there's still time. Still time in DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So that sums it up for news. Let's get into some exciting rumors. Actually, I'm pretty psyched for all the rumors I have right now. At least 2 out of 3. The first one, of course, and this has been near and dear to my heart, is a rumor about Battlefront 3, the Star Wars online shooter game. And there have been Battlefront and Battlefront 2 that were out on PS2, and those were just huge. I spent many a days wasted on Battlefront 2 gaming. It was an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter where you're playing, not as Jedi, well, not all the time, as the soldiers in the battle. It really brought it down to a whole new level, and it was awesome. And now there's rumors talking about Star Wars Battlefront 3, which have been going around for like 10 years. People have wanted to see this game develop, and we might have a chance right now. So there's a new game apparently coming out for Xbox this spring called Star Wars First Assault. It's a first-person shooter, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Google it right now. Pause this video. Pause the podcast, whatever. Go look up the 30 seconds that you can watch on it. It's a first-person shooter, Star Wars, and it looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun. However, that's not the big part. The big part of this thing is, apparently, if enough people purchase this and this game does well, it may lead to Battlefront 3. Now, again, this is just a rumor, but I don't have an Xbox. So I'm challenging all of you to buy this fucking game when it comes out in spring. So we get a Battlefront 3 because I want to play it. I want to play it really bad. And I think now that we've gotten to the point where, it's been so long, we've seen a lot of first-person shooters come out, how to do things. I think a Battlefront 3 could develop extremely well with the elements of Battlefront 2 that came out in the past. We're going to see something pretty exciting if that comes into light. You got any thoughts, Ghost? I know you...
I really don't because I've never gotten into those games.
Yeah, that's just too bad because it is good. Another rumor: Assassin's Creed has been huge in the news recently. It just keeps going and going with Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Black Frag.
Anyway, there's apparently a new game that is going to be released around October 10th for the Vita. Just rumors, but probably true. Assassin's Creed Rising Phoenix. There was just one image for Assassin's Creed Rising Phoenix with the logo and all that, and it looked more like it might be geared towards Vita, especially with the recent release of Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4 being on consoles. They want to probably push towards something else, and they've done that with Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, moving that to Vita, and they've had a few Assassin's Creed on the PSP, other portable consoles. So that's probably true. We talked about that earlier, Ghost. What are your thoughts on the whole Assassin's Creed pushing for another game so soon?
That's actually kind of a mixed thing for me because it's like, why do you feel the need to pump out a game every single year? But at the same time, every game I played have been fucking amazing. Like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's quality shit, man. I know you never really got into Assassin's Creed like I did. And it's like, I don't know, man. Especially Assassin's Creed 3, man. I really got into that because it was just like every game was kind of the same thing over and over again.
Right.
But Assassin's Creed 3, they really kind of built it from the ground up, and they really kind of added new mechanics and stuff to it. It was really the same idea, but a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Different take on it. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was really, and plus it was American history, which obviously, you know, as Americans, it's going to be kind of near and dear to our hearts because you're kind of in a way taking apart in real American history that actually happened.
So you're like twisting the events of that we already know what happened, and it's like a little bit of, you know, make-believe backstory that you're like, whoa, shit, that could have been real.
Yeah. You know, but like the whole Vita game coming out with the Black Flag, I don't think that's a rumor at all because they did the same thing with Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Liberation. They released those the same day, and they were basically offshoots of each other. You don't meet the character in the Vita game in Assassin's Creed 3, but you do meet Connor, the character in Assassin's Creed 3, in the Vita game.
Right.
You do cross paths, and I think you do a quest with him in the Vita game.
Yeah, but you get a bonus item from it, the cool little interactivity there.
Yep. And but one thing that kind of really frustrated me about that was it was supposed to be a mechanic in Assassin's Creed 3 where you were supposed to be able to ride in canoes. You were supposed to be able to I don't want to say drive, paddle canoes, I guess.
Paddle. Yeah.
But they took that out of the game and actually saved it for the Vita. And that really not really frustrated me, but that kind of I was really bummed about that. But I mean, as far as them coming out, I kind of got off topic there, but like, as long as the games remain quality games, I mean, I guess keep trucking.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
You know, we could bring up Call of Duty with a new game coming out every year.
I was just about to say that, and yeah.
I think we each have our own thoughts about that. It's a little negative, but I think that sums it up well. As long as they're quality games, you can keep making them.
Exactly. You know, yeah, exactly. And I really don't have a problem. Now, I'm actually kind of interested to see what Black Flag's going to be about because that's supposed to be in the pirate era.
Pirate era, yeah, following the history and shit. I guess I don't know. I think it looks interesting. Like I've always kind of wanted to get into Assassin's Creed, never had the time because in those types of games I like to do everything. And I just don't have time for that. That's originally why I didn't get into them. And once the second one was out, I was like, shit, there's going to be like 8 more of these. Like, I can't invest that much time and money into the series and as much as I want to. And I think with what it looks like, I think it's really cool. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting new developments because with the whole pirate thing, that opens up. I mean, Assassin's Creed has always been like a localized, like, you get to explore this huge city and it's all very full and it's very real. But with ships, like, there's going to be multiple cities. Like, that's going to be a big game, in my opinion. And I think that's great. I'm really interested to see how it develops.
And sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, I'm done. Go.
One thing about Assassin's Creed 2 is I think that's going to be the perfect, I'm going to say it twice, 3 times, perfect way to showcase what next-gen consoles can really do. Because Assassin's Creed, to me, has always kind of pushed the graphics.
Yeah, it's always been up there.
They've always been beautiful games. They've always been really good looking. I'm really curious to see how they will showcase what the next-gen consoles can do in the Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, and let's take a minute to talk about that, because that's the final rumor, actually, is that according to one of the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag developers, says that all of those games for each console of Assassin's Creed 4 will ship the same day. So that means that you're going to see PS3 and PS4 of Assassin's Creed being shipped on that same day, which could mean something interesting, as well as the next-gen Xbox. I'm sorry, got to include the Xbox. They're all going to be in the store, they're all going to be done. So that says a few things. 1, they are ready for the next gen. Absolutely. 2, and probably the bigger thing is, my personal theory is, okay, this is late October when those games come out. When are we going to see the consoles? Because if you're shipping those things, if you're not going to ship a game that's going to sit in a store for 3 months before you actually get any sales on it because people can't play it because the console hasn't come out yet. So when is that console going to come out? Personally, I think it's going to be around the same time. It might be a launch title. It might come out like a week or 2 after, with Black Friday right around the corner.
Might be a bundle deal.
Yeah, exactly. So when they said holiday 2013 for the PS4, I'm thinking a little bit earlier than that. I'm thinking October, November, and if that's true, you better fucking subscribe and give me money or something, because I swear to God, I'm a fucking genius. No, I mean, that's going all over the place. So that's exciting. And, you know, that's really cool too, because we haven't heard anything about the next gen Xbox, not officially. And the fact that they're saying, yeah, it's going to be released with it, shipped with it, we're going to see them probably around the same time. And that's going to be a big time. That's going to be a big time. It also kind of worries me a little bit, though, because with the console coming out so soon and with this game being developed so soon, I'm wondering the quality. I'm not scared. I think they're going to do just fine with the quality, but it still might be a little shaky. There might be some unforeseen issues with two big things being launched at the same time like that.
Yeah. Touching on quality a second here, I was kind of wondering about that myself, because, I mean, chances are, you know, the PS4, they've been working on the hardware and the software and all that for years now. Obviously,
Right.
they're going to do it quietly. I am wondering how long they've actually been working on Assassin's Creed Black Flag to fit this new hardware.
Yeah,
Because
like
it's gonna have different graphics qualities. It should be higher quality.
should be.
And so I'm really kind of curious if they've only been working on this for a couple of years. I'm guessing that each Assassin's Creed they work on for a couple of years. They just overlap. How that's gonna work and how that's gonna play on the PS4.
Yeah, well, I'm scared that it's just going to be, the next gen games are just going to be simple ports of the early, like the current gen counterparts.
Yeah.
And, you know, is that a bad way to go? Not really. I mean, from a developer standpoint, no, it probably isn't a bad way to go. It's probably really easy. Just do a few upgrades here. You know, change around the numbers and shit, whatever they do. But does that going to suffer some quality? I'm thinking it might a little bit, because it's just a port.
Well, I don't. You know,
Personal opinion.
I think what they'll probably do is what happened when the PS3 and everything came out. Because I mean, the PS2 was still selling really well, so they still made the games for PS3 and PS2, but the PS2 version was a dumbed down version of what you could play on the PS3. And I think that might be what we'll see with the PS3 and the PS4.
So you're thinking it's going to be a port the other way.
Exactly.
See, and that would be beneficial.
That's how it was, because, I mean, they're not going to make a better version of the game on a previous console. They're going to make the better version on the newer console because they want to sell that console.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, you know, for a big fact, for instance, I played the Spider-Man 3, that game, it was that stupid movie or whatever on the PS2, and there were missions that weren't even in the game on PS2 that were on PS3.
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend that was playing the same game on PS3, and it was like two totally different games.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think
That's scary.
that might be what we'll see. I don't think it'll be a port from PS2 to PS3 to PS4. I think it'll be the other way around. Or PS4 to PS3. I think it'll be the other way around.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, let's have to wait and see. I'm excited. I'm really strongly feel the PS4 and the next gen Xbox are going to come out around that time, and I'll be buying one. I will be buying one. I don't care what the fuck you're doing.
You already know my opinion, and you know what, dude? If they come out with a God of War, man, maybe I'll save up and buy one myself. Who knows? Who knows? I'd like to, you know.
Why don't you just hold your opinions till you see more about it, like the price and shit and what it looks like.
Dude,
you might want to fuck it as soon as you see it. So you're gonna have to buy two. One's gonna have a hole in it and shit.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps that up. Let's cover a little bit of some store stuff. This week and next week, some interesting DLC coming out, some games. Not a whole lot, real exciting, but for a game that's near and dear to my heart, I said before, Sound Shapes DLC. I said that was coming out recent, and it came out this week. A lot of bang for your buck. They are just great with this game. They really are. It's a small, not a huge community game, but it's a lot of fun. I love it. The DLC is $2. You get new levels, like basically a whole new story mode, which is a lot. 2 new vehicles, which are both cars, some editor tools, obviously new trophies here if you're a trophy hunter. Also, there's a whole new free pack with it, which is almost more than what you get if you pay. This is again separate. It's 6 new albums, which are essentially, it's a story and a half from what the original story was lengthwise, and they're all full of community levels, which are based on the same themes. So the levels that you all have made in the past, that they said these are story quality levels, we're going to throw them in there, give them back to you guys. I think that's really awesome. Also, there's a new offline play mode, which is really cool, and people have been asking that since the game came out, where you download the community levels when you have Wi-Fi, and then you can play them later when you're offline if you don't have those opportunities. So you can still carry the community with you, which is just great. Totally makes sense and should have been there earlier, but the game is done just fine without it, and I think it's a great addition. Also, next week, the PlayStation All-Stars Zeus and Isaac DLC is coming out. Zeus is more of a heavy hitter, a little slower, really good at building AP, more like Kratos in that sense. And Isaac Clarke from Dead Space is like a medium speed, ranged, medium long distance character. Both look really awesome. Comes with a new stage mixing Unfinished Swan and Medieval. That's really cool. I think it's going to be, I forget how much they said, around $5, somewhere in there. But if you bought God of War Ascension, you get it for free, which is really cool.
Nice.
And just awesome that, studio's working with itself pretty much. So the codes, if you got the code in your case, it will work this Tuesday. I'm not sure how early that's going to work. Hopefully really early, but nonetheless, keep trying. You get it for free if you got the game. Also, Dead or Alive 5 Plus comes out next week, and some more Assassin's Creed 3 DLC. So look out for that. If you have if you're looking for those games, pick that shit up. It'll be on the store. Other than that, pretty quiet week this week and next week. Not a whole lot going on. PlayStation Plus is still highly active. You're getting a lot of games for free this month. And also, throughout the entire month of March, if you spend $50, you get $10 back, and that stacks. So buy money. Throw Sony your money. And that's about all I have. Do you have any final thoughts, Ghost?
Nah, not really.
Not really? All right, I just want to shout out that this is the Ghost of Sparta. You can check out his channel. He's got a new channel that just came up. How long have you... It's been like a month, hasn't it? Not even?
Yeah, it's been about a month. I do mostly, I've been doing a lot of PC gaming, Battlefield. I'm going to be putting up some Black Ops 2. I've got Arma. I started a Crisis 3 Let's Play that I have yet to finish. Blacklight Retribution. I'm kind of trying to keep a variety on my channel. So yeah, if you want to come on over and check it out, no pressure or anything. It's just youtube.com/Ghost of Sparta. The O in Ghost is a 0.
Yep, and it'll be in the description. You guys can have a quick link to it right there. Also, You're getting a PVR, aren't you?
Yes, indeed. Probably
Yes,
Monday
indeed.
I'm getting a PVR, so that means I'm going to be doing a God of War Ascension Let's Play. I will definitely be covering The Last of Us, not only the demo, but probably the full game, assuming I like the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll just see where that takes me.
Yeah, and I mean, I plan on playing some more God of War multiplayer, some co-op, so maybe on both of our channels you'll see some gameplay of that.
Yep, you'll probably see maybe some dual comms between the two of us.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm waiting to do this for a while with someone since Eli dropped out, so shout out to him. Love you, bro, but it's sad.
Love you, buddy.
But so that pretty much sums up episode 8 of the V Podcast. Thank you for watching, guys. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Take it easy. Catch you guys next week.
Later.
A recording sample. So why don't you talk a little bit?
What up? Hey, YouTube, how you doing?
I
Hey,
didn't know you were Mexican.
hey, Vato, what's up, man? Eh?